Hi, welcome to With the Contest Queen, myself, Carolyn Willman, as I teach you how to find, organize, enter, and win sweepstakes contests and giveaways. Say that 3 times fast. And I'm going to be answering sweepstakes questions that you post here in the chat. I was away and I did on a win. I won a trip and we chose to go to Mexico, which I'll be talking about how you can prioritize vacation sweepstakes so that you can travel for virtually free. It's a cheap trip, not a free trip, and I'll explain that. And I'll be answering your questions. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments and I will answer them. I'm also, if you see me, turn to your left, my right. I'm also live on Instagram, so I will be taking questions from Instagram too. And let's see. McKinnon says, when will we find out who won your contest that just ended? Actually, probably after this video, because I've been swamped and didn't have a chance to do the drawing yet today. The joys of being self-employed, sometimes you don't do stuff until late at night when you have some time. But I do the draws. And let's see, any other questions from Instagram? Because I started on Instagram earlier. Okay, so that's the answer from question. Okay. Oh, this is a fantastic. I'm going to start with this question because it just came in, and then I'll talk about the trip. Francis asked, I don't know what chain is on contest. Okay, what she's referring to is a referral chain. So what a lot of sweepers do to help each other win, and I love this aspect of the hobby, you know, all boats rise with the tide, is that I'm just going to move this camera here so it's a little more on point. The joys of being live is that sweepstakers help each other out. So what happens is a lot of sweepstakes will get, especially ones hosted by WooBox, will give you a referral link to share after the sweepstakes, after you enter the sweepstakes, and say, if any of your friends enter, you get an extra entry. So what happens on a lot of these sweepstakes aggregate sites, especially ones that have chat features or comment areas. So for example, I would enter and I would get my referral link and then I would post it in the comments. And then Frances would see that there was a comment. So she would go and enter using my referral link. And then under my referral link, she'll say, hey, here's my referral link. Then the next person comes along and uses Frances's link and then posts their link. And so you get a referral chain going, and then each person helps the other person out, which is really kind of nice. I love that. And I've seen referral chains go into the hundreds on some of these aggregate sites. Now, I don't know if that actually increases your chances, but I just love the whole good vibes aspect of it. And that, again, all boats rise with the tide. I like that helping aspect of it. I think it's brilliant. I had a question here on Instagram that was really good. Miss Trinity asked, how do you find contests to win free trips on cruise ships? So I'm assuming she means she wants to find giveaways and sweepstakes that have cruises as a prize, not being on a cruise and finding giveaways while you're traveling, which you can do, by the way. Depending on where you live and where you're traveling, you may be able to find winning opportunities on the road. Generally, if you're traveling within your own country, you can do that. If you travel internationally, the contest, sweepstakes, or giveaways you find out wherever you are generally only open to that region and you won't be able to enter. So for example, the only other time I've been to Mexico, we did end up at a Walmart. So fun. And I cruised the grocery store section of the store. And although I don't speak Spanish, I can spot the word win at 100 paces. And I found some products clearly with contests on them that I took pictures of and shared with everybody. I thought it's so fun because yeah, you can tell what a giveaway is. You don't have to speak the language to understand there's a contest or a sweepstakes going on. But of course, I wouldn't be able to enter because I'm not Mexican in that case. Or if I travel to the United States, I'm Canadian, I can't enter unless it happens to be open to both countries, which some are and some aren't, and vice versa. Or if you're, you know, American and you're in Australia and you see a giveaway, you can't enter. It's the same thing. And so that's traveling and looking for giveaways. Now, if you're looking specifically for cruises versus trips, you're going to have to do a little more digging because there's less trip prizes specifically for cruises versus regular airplane travel or local giveaways. That said, it also depends on where you live. My friend Tom Cavalli, who owns I Win Contests, lives in Florida. And because he lives in Florida, and almost the entire state is surrounded by water, and it's got one of the largest cruise ports. It's got several major cruise ports, especially on the east coast of the state. There are a ton of cruise giveaways in his state compared to anywhere else. And so Tom has won a lot of cruises compared to, I believe, most sweepers. So it depends on where you live. It depends on where you're looking for. So one thing I teach is concentric circles. It's going to be easier for you to win something in your local region than it is statewide or countrywide or even internationally, because there are global giveaways or ones that are open to Canada and the US. So there's more people. So the less people that are going to enter, the better your odds of winning. It's not rocket science, it's math. And again, depending on where you live. So people in Florida will probably have more opportunities to win cruises than someone, say, in Wyoming or Idaho or Kentucky. There's going to be less cruise giveaways, but there's going to be other types of giveaways locally, right? So, for example, I live in the suburbs, but I enter a lot of giveaways from Toronto radio stations, local giveaways. If you see some of my videos that I post, I do little unboxing videos, and I call them unboxings, but they're when I've won tickets to things and I go to shows because I'm only 45 minutes away, or even some shows in my city. Why wouldn't I do that? So the pool of people that are going to enter to win those tickets is going to be less because someone that lives very far away, even though some of the rules will say it's open to the whole province, nobody's going to come 6 hours to see a show. It's only going to be people within the certain region that are going to enter. So it increases your odds of winning. What I want you to do is take a look at where you live and start looking at all the media outlets and do a concentric circle. What's 1 hour? Take where you live and kind of draw a line on a map. What's within an hour radius of where you live in all directions? So an hour this way and an hour that way. And start looking at all the various places that would host giveaways. Start following small companies that have frequent giveaways. Start following all of your media outlets. Sign up for all their newsletters. I check all the radio stations, contest web pages once a week. Remember, if you're new to this, set up an email address just for entering sweepstakes. Trust me, I learned this one the hard way. It took me 6 months to port over. Why do you think I'm so good at all this advice? I've made every mistake under the sun. Right? And then you're going to start to go out. If you want cruises specifically, then start looking at what can get you a cruise. You're going to look at everything from Visa gift cards to checks to travel vouchers to the cruise themselves. So anything that can get you on the cruise. Because if you win, I don't know, a $3,000 travel voucher, you can use it for a cruise. You don't have to use it for something else, right? As long as you use the travel voucher, you can pick whatever you want. So again, look at all the options that would get you to a cruise, start with concentric circles, and then be specific and focus on those first. So if you only have 10 minutes to enter today, because you're super busy like me, then the only things you're going to enter for those cruises or prizes that will get you to that cruise. Okay. And then if you have time, start entering for all the other types of prizes, but make that your priority if that's what you really want to win. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. Mark says, I'm at the gym. I can't hear you, but I'll watch. I know. I don't think there's closed captioning until afterwards. Oh, EJ says travel shows have had cruise giveaways in the past. My husband won one of them. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know how many travel shows there are for that anymore. So let's see. Yeah, Tom says, since COVID started, I've won like a t-shirt and a $5 gift card. Everyone and their brother started sweeping during COVID. Prior to that, I had won trips and money. I think we need to switch up your hobby, Tom, because I don't know what happened. Yeah, 2020 was a write-off because so many giveaways just stopped. Like they didn't even finish. There's usually a clause in sweepstakes rules that allow them to end the promotion at any time for any reason. And a lot of them did that because of COVID. I would go to sweepstakes pages and they would literally be blank. Like they wouldn't take down the page, but they just wouldn't put anything on it. It was horrible to see. And so a lot of people just stopped winning until everything kind of ramped up. Now, it didn't shut down as much as in the US as it did in the rest of the world, because I know what happened in the UK because Super Lucky Die, my sweeping sister counterpart in the UK, was giving me feedback on what was happening over there. Tom Cavalli lives in the US. I talked to him a lot. So I was getting feedback on different places and what was happening. And yeah, it tanked everywhere, but some places worse than others. Then in 2021, it started to pick up, and I felt like this year was virtually back to normal. And for some reason, I don't know if I'm just hitting the right sweepstakes or what I'm doing. I think maybe I've been channeling Helene Hadsel and her winning vibration, because I've probably won more this year than I have in like the last 5 years put together. I've just had a very good year. So I want you to start looking at better odds sweepstakes. For example, I thought I was going to win for sure, to be honest with you. We had a local travel station, travel company rather, do a giveaway that I caught on the second last day. It was only open for 5 days. You had to do a reel, an Instagram reel or a TikTok or both. You could put it in both, to be in to win a trip to Mexico. I'm like, okay, I'd like to come back. And so I entered and George entered, and I think there was maybe 40 entries on each platform. We didn't win. I thought we were a shoe-in. But the odds of winning were ridiculous compared to other giveaways. So you really got to find those ones with better odds, because generally that's when you're going to win. You don't always win, even though you think you're a shoe-in. But yeah, I want you to start looking for better odds giveaways. If you're just using the sweepstakes aggregates, everybody's using the sweepstakes aggregates, which is why you need to do all your own local giveaways and then expand from there. Because I do better on all my locals for some reason. That just seems to be my jam. I know other people that do better on other things. I know people that only do Instagram and they just smoke it on Instagram. They're just winning left, right, and center. I win on Instagram occasionally, but I only tag 5, maybe 10 people if I really want the prize, and that's it. Like I'm not one of these people that tags 100. I'm like, who does that? There's people that do it and they win all the time, and that's the only thing they're entering, and they're really have good luck with Instagram. So it depends on your where you're at in your hobby. But look at all your locals and start entering those. I do well on my locals. Like just before we went to Mexico, I went and saw a local tribute show to Elton John, and I went to see the Mavericks and Los Lobos, which kind of put me in a Spanish feel. It was so fun. I know they're from Texas, but you know they were singing Spanish music and they had a Mexican flair. It was awesome. So I saw them on the Monday before I left. The other nice thing about the hobby is sharing with your friends. George happened to be away with his buddies. They went fishing up in northern Ontario. I have no idea why they would want to go to the snow and freezing cold to fish, but he did. And so I knew that we were going to be here. That's the other thing. You got to look at the dates of the prize. I wasn't entering for anything that was going to happen the week we were away, but I knew we were here, and then he disappeared. So I took girlfriends. I had 2 girls' nights out, and they love it because I'm like, hey, I won tickets. You want to go out? And they're like, sure. And we have so much fun, and it doesn't cost us anything. Okay. EJ says on Instagram, I usually have small wins. So yeah, I've won a few things from Instagram. Some of them are the best. I think it was about 4 winters ago now. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I've lost track. I won. I needed a new winter coat, and I happened to win on Instagram a Roots puffer jacket. Oh my God, the thing's amazing. And if I'm not using it, it can stuff down into like this little tube. It's got a little thing in the pocket that you can turn itself into. It's like one of my best prizes. It's so practical. I love those prizes. And I'm so happy every time I wear it because I'm warm. So yeah, we need to, we have some good win. Oh, congratulations, Gretchen. Today I got a letter, a potential winner of a small batch sweepstakes from Bourbon Barrel and from Beam and 2 bar stools and $1,000. Congratulations. Oh, I love it when people tell me they win. Oh, somebody won a furnace. Oh, Eva, that's amazing for winter. If you've got an older home, that's perfect. Oh, someone on Facebook says trips, tons of Amazon gift cards and jackets. Yeah, I'm assuming that's on Instagram. Oh, and they had this month was great. Congratulations. EK says, I need to find a better way to search local. Okay, so I don't actually search local per se. Like I don't type in sweepstakes, local. Now, I'll give you my city version and then the state version. Okay, so the city version is I have in my bookmarks a list of all the local media that hosts frequent giveaways, and I've bookmarked all their contest pages. So once a week, usually on a Monday, I will go to every single page and see what giveaways. Sometimes I do it on a Sunday because I don't want to miss the first, say, cue to call in or cue to text in on a Monday morning to increase my odds of winning. But I have a whole list and I go and I check it once a week. So radio stations used to only have call-in giveaways, and now to increase the odds of people participating, they've gone to a lot of, hey, listen for the code word and text it with your name to our radio station. We'll call somebody back and they qualify. I've actually qualified for a few of those. Some you have to listen for you register on their site, you listen for your name. If they call your name, you have 5 or 10 minutes or whatever, 7 minutes, whatever the station picks to call back. And if so, you win. I've heard that some have the 9th texter through, some still have caller 10. So all the different radio stations have different, and they also have giveaways on their webpage. But then some radio stations also follow them on all their social media outlets, because some of them where I live have pop-up social giveaways that you can enter on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, mostly Instagram and Facebook, Twitter occasionally. And perhaps with what's happening with Twitter, Twitter may become a less desirable site for companies to hold giveaways on. So we may see a decline on that platform in giveaways. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next several months, especially in December, because December is sweepstakes season. Say that 3 times fast. When every company and their neighbor is hosting a giveaway, a lot of them are, hey, enter on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We may see TikTok thrown into that mix this year, and be in to win a daily prize. So you get a lot of the 12 days of Christmas from December 1st to December 12th. Then you get a lot of other giveaways in December, 12 days from the 12th to the 24th. So the 12th is double day, because a lot of them are ending and a lot of them are starting on the same day. And then there's those that have the 24 days of Christmas from the 1st to the 24th. Some do it for the whole month, like December, right from the 1st to the 31st. There's some that jump the gun and start their 12 days of giveaways at Thanksgiving, the US Thanksgiving, not the Canadian. The Canadian one was October 10th, I believe. Yeah, we have it a lot earlier. So it'll be interesting to see if Twitter remains a sweepstakes sponsor choice of platform to host their giveaways, or they're just going to pare back and stick to like Instagram and Facebook and maybe even TikTok. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But so that's how I do my locals. Now, for statewide, okay, you can put in Google, you can set up an alert. So a lot of the rules will have for the residents of. So find some rules for your local state and copy some of the clauses in those rules that indicate just for your state, and put those in a Google alert. So if someone posts them, and sometimes they're worded a little bit different, so you might have 2 or 3 versions of this clause set up as an alert, and then if a sweepstakes is posted with that word, you will be notified of it. And it's going to, of course, range from person to person, because everybody lives in a different place. Oh, Shawnee says, I'm going to Brian Adams this weekend from a local radio station win. Nice. He's so good. I have not seen him in concert. That's going to be, I am sure that's going to be a fantastic show. Okay. So EK, I hope that answers your question. It was not a short question to answer, but it's one of the keys to winning is you have to be organized. And if you're not organized, you're not going to remember where to look. You're not going to remember how to find something. You're not going to remember to go back and enter again if it's a daily giveaway. I've been giving away a free masterclass one-on-one with me for, I think, 3.5 years now. Only one person out of every single winner was actually organized. It's the number one mistake people do. Actually, I call it the number 2 mistake. I want to do a video on this, because the number 1 mistake people make when entering, why they're not winning sweepstakes, is they don't read the rules. The number 2 mistake is they're not organized. So if you want to increase your odds of winning, get organized. And I know it's harder for some people. I'm very left brain. You know, if I could put a labeler on all my sweepstakes, you know, the Martha Stewart, you know, closet with everything in little bins and labels, and oh my God, I love all that stuff. I basically took that and did that to sweepstakes on my computer. Everything's in a file, everything's date ordered, everything's organized by type, by date, by I've I say Marie Kondo the heck out of it. So you got to be really organized, and that's going to help you win because then you're not wasting time. And that's key, because if you only have an hour to enter and you've spent half an hour of that futzing around, you've lost a ton of entry time. So that's one of the reasons it's key. Yeah, EK says Texas is basically Mexico. I just loved it. I've been to the Riviera Maya now twice, and I'm going to tell people this story because I've been learning how to just accept what is and how things turn out. So in 2019, we were invited to a destination wedding, and it ended up being at the Yucatan Princess in the Riviera Maya, just north of Playa del Carmen. So we went to this resort with 16 other people. So there was 9 couples altogether because George and I were another couple. And we had a great time. It was beautiful. We could use the restaurants at any of the resorts. We went to one of the other resorts to have the wedding dinner. We basically hung around by the pool. The beach, unfortunately, a couple of years before had been kind of decimated. A hurricane came and took 30 meters, basically 90 feet of beach away. Yeah, it was bad. And when Mama Nature takes it away, there's nothing you can do. But the rest of the resort, the food was fantastic. The staff was great. Like, we just had a really good time. And George liked it so much, he put it out to the universe. He says, I would like to come back. I'm like, no, there's too many places on the planet. I want to visit somewhere new. When he took me on holiday this February, I said to him, I really want to take my sister and her husband on vacation because I'm putting out a blog telling the whole story about this. In 2017, my sister took me away on vacation for my 50th birthday. So I thought, okay, when she turns 50, I'll take her away. But in 2019, we had gone on a trip that we won. We went to this destination wedding. She got married that fall. There was no time and no money for any travel. And I thought, that's okay. We'll go next year. Well, we all know what happened in 2020. So they didn't even get to go on a honeymoon. And that year, money was tight because of all these things we were doing and all these other things that were going on. And so I didn't even buy them a wedding gift. So I'm feeling a little guilty. I haven't taken her a birthday gift. I haven't bought them a wedding present. I'm like, I'd really like to take them away. And I don't even know why I don't even think of this. Like, I'm the teacher and I sometimes don't take my own advice. Don't worry about the how. And here I'm thinking, okay, I got to finish my next book. I got to get it, finish paying off my debt. I got to save up money. I got to do this. I got to do that. No, you don't focus on the end result. What was the end result? Because we were in the Dominican and I really liked Mexico. And I said to George, I really want to go back to Mexico. So my end result was the 4 of us in Mexico. I went back 4 days. Then I found the booking.com Super Bowl sweepstakes, and they were giving away 100 trips to anywhere you wanted to go. And it was the only Super Bowl sweepstakes open to Canadians. So you can better believe that I sat there for 4.5 hours entering that one heart. I have no idea how many entries I had, but you had to take a picture during the commercials. You had to Facebook, Twitter, or tweet it or Instagram it out to booking.com with a certain hashtag and say something about the picture and do all these things. So basically during the commercials, I sat there with my phone, click, 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 click. And then while the players were on the field, I wasn't paying any attention to the game. I was Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I was spreading my entries across all 3 because I didn't know where I was going to win. So I wanted to make sure I had enough entries in every pot. And so that's what I did. I put them everywhere. And I won one of the trips. So I could book it to Mexico. And my sister and her husband couldn't travel till later in the year. I said, well, we have a year to use it. We just have 90 days to book it. So let's pick at the end of the year when it worked out better for them. And it's perfect. We just went. But my point was, here I am thinking, I'm going to have to do all these things. And the end result was 4 of us in Mexico. And within literally a week of returning from my other trip, I had that trip ready to go for October. I didn't have to finish my book in that week. I didn't have to, do all these things. Focus on the end result, and I got the end result right away. Don't worry about the how. It just presented itself and I won it. It's crazy. So if you like, I think it was Teresa wanted a cruise. Just picture yourself on the cruise and just start finding every cruise giveaway you can find. Tell your friends you're looking for cruise giveaways and they'll send you links or they'll tag you in giveaways. You'd be amazed how sweepers help other sweepers out. We're a good bunch. I call us the good crazies. Okay, let's see. Regina says, I'm definitely not organized, right? You got to be organized. And McKinnon says, I hope you win your free masterclass tonight. I'm so not organized. But did you know, if you have trouble with sweepstakes, I teach a couple of classes. One's how to win on social media and sweepstakes for beginners. And then the real organization one is the real biggie is the RoboForm class. And they're only $25. So if you don't win, just come to the class. I'm telling you, one win will more than pay for the investment in your hobby. But yeah, and you never know if you win. I had somebody say that she had entered, I think it was my last winner. And she's like, oh, I needed this. I've been entering ever since you started doing it. I'm so happy I won. So you can win and just keep entering. Yeah, so EK says, so you say companies are starting to slow down on Twitter. I don't know. I do listen to a podcast from social media marketing company. And I saw the headline about brands are going to start turning away from Twitter, but I haven't listened to that episode yet. But these guys are so on the ball. I'm thinking, I don't know what brands are going to do this December. Now, you have to remember, especially with larger companies, they have been planning their marketing campaigns sometimes for up to a year. Like they'll get a brand new budget in January and they'll plan out every sweepstakes marketing campaign or all their marketing campaigns, like because some of them will tie into ads and this is going to be on this social platform and this is on this social platform and we're going to buy ads over here and we're going to have an ad spend over here and we're going to get this influencer and that influencer. Like they plan this stuff out sometimes since January. So if they've already planned giveaways on Twitter for December, they're not changing their plan unless something goes dastardly wrong. They're not pulling it. However, smaller companies who have really limited budgets and are not planning as far in advance may pivot quickly and shift their focus to other platforms. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see. I should share the link to that podcast if anybody is a marketer like me and is totally interested in that stuff. It's great because it's only, it's called Today in Marketing, and it's only a 10-minute podcast. And it kind of gives you like all the highlights of what's going on and a little talk about it. And then it goes on to the next thing. It's kind of like reading the newspaper, having the newspaper read to you, but for marketers. And I do it a lot of times while I'm at the gym or in the summer when I'm walking, when I'm doing my pin code hunting, I'll throw it on. And it makes me feel really smart because I'm catching up. There's so much. These platforms are changing so quickly. It's impossible to keep up now. Yes. EK says between November, December, I'm crazy with 12 days. I bookmark a tab just for 12 days. That is a fantastic tip because normally I put them all in my regular system. But making a special tab just for that, brilliant idea, EK. I might actually use that as one of my tips in my next newsletter. I will give you credit, of course. That's the thing. This hobby is so vast and it's changing so quickly all the time now. Everybody needs to be helping each other win. Because listen, companies spend billions and billions of dollars every year running giveaways. There's enough prizes for everybody. Like when somebody says, "Hey, I won this," I don't say, "Oh, no, there's so many giveaways." Like I don't feel like the pie is huge. Someone having a piece today isn't taking away from me. Oh, I can definitely ask you for more tips. Would love to win again. Oh, somebody hasn't put their name in because the way StreamYard works, but I'm betting they were one of my winners. Oh, Heather says I want a smoker. Nice. My only problems with smokers is George actually bought one this summer because, of course, I haven't wanted one yet. And I like him to finish the stuff on the barbecue because it crisps it up. Smoker people swear that you don't need to do that. Oh, how fun! I won a local egg contest. It was egg swag. I love fun stuff. Do you know, as a marketer, I used to buy promotional items for a company that I worked for. So I would buy all the logoed branded swag, and I love clever swag. Um, it's one of my favorite things to win, and because I just like clever marketers. Actually, I have a hat, a Doritos hat. I heard in the States when they held the contest, they were actually giving away jackets. I'm like, where's the jacket? The fabric is brilliant. I don't know where Doritos bought this fabric, but it looks like it's a photograph of like Doritos. Like, and it's well made. Like I can tell, like it's not cheaply made. It's basically reversible. So it's completely lined inside and out. I ended up washing it after the trip to Mexico, sunscreen, sand, all that stuff. I think it went into the pool. So I washed it. It came out beautiful, like brand new, but I was wearing it. Everybody kept commenting on, "Oh my God, we love Doritos. Where'd you get the hat? Oh, that's so cute." And it has a nice wide brim, which is great for the sun. I love well-made branded swag. So, let me see if there's any other questions. What's the key to winning iHeart radio stations? Okay, station contests. Oh, yeah, if I had the answer to that, I'd be winning them all myself. Okay, for iHeart, there's different aspects to iHeart. One of them is if they're giving out keywords, is to be in a team that shares the keywords. I recommend subscribing to Tom Cavalli's I Win contest site. There is a Discord group that he started, and one of the I don't know what the right term is for Discord because I don't use it frequently. Um, Chat threads or threads, I'll call it, um, is the iHeartRadio code words. And so that can help you. The other's to have an account. The other one is to go and check, like I do, because we have iHeart here, is I check all the websites once a week. And then as for listening for your name or the code word, I've teamed up with a fellow sweeper and we alternate. So like today at 4 o'clock, was it 4 o'clock? Yeah. There's 4 radio stations I had to listen to. I can't listen to 4. It's impossible. So she'll take 2 and I'll take 2 and then we'll swap. Hey, did you text this in? Oh, it's text time. Here's the code word. No, it wasn't us on this radio station. So I'm listening for her. She's listening for me. So sometimes it's good to have a contest buddy. So those are my tips for winning iHeart. And then if you go look at my blog, I got called to play Beat the Bank once. Oh my God, I thought I was going to pass out. And I stopped at $800 and I went to 5,000. Ah! I left all that money on the table. That still makes my stomach hurt when I hear it. Yeah. Or think about it rather. Just anyway. So yeah, just keep trying. You'll win if you focus on all those tips. Oh, brilliant. I'm entering any contest that has a hotel stay. I can fly free since my daughter's a flight attendant. Yes, great tip. A lot of people, that actually increases your odds of winning, Tom, because a lot of people won't enter just hotel stays because they need to spend the money to buy the plane ticket. And because you don't have to do that, your odds of winning are increased and you get to go to places that you might not normally pick. Brilliant. Heather says, any great tips for Instagram? I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong because I don't have a lot of wins on that platform. To be honest, Heather, I don't either, but I don't enter a ton. I only enter a few, and I only enter 5 to 10 names per. Just to give an example, I've only won 2 Instagram contests this whole year, but they were fantastic ones. At Father's Day, I won 2 stock pots, one from Myers Cookware, gorgeous 14-liter. Oh my God, these things are amazing. We were using them to cook corn all summer, like on the cob, because it was so big. Oh my God, it was fantastic. And I made a massive batch of chili in it one time. But I won 2 stock pots, one for me and one for my dad. And then, yeah, and I love practical prizes. And then just recently I won a $200 grocery gift card. And actually, this is a good tip. I won while I was on vacation. And on the Monday, we went to Cozumel. So when I travel, if I'm traveling to the States, because we pay roaming per day, I usually leave it on when I'm in the United States, but the roaming charges are so high, in my opinion, internationally, that what we do is we put our phones in airplane mode once we get into the airplane, and then we don't take them out of the airplane mode until we get back. But what happens is when you get to the resort, we turn on the Wi-Fi, and so we just don't get any calls and no texts, but everything else works. All my socials, my emails, my WhatsApp, everything works. And so we went to Cozumel for the day, so I wasn't in Wi-Fi, and of course I don't have my data on. I took my phone for the day because it's my camera, so I'm using it to take pictures of all our adventures for the day. And I get back to the hotel only to find a notification that I had won on Instagram, and I was like, oh no, I was so scared that I missed it because, I'm not watching as closely as I should. Now, it's much better now. I remember back in the day when my ex and I, like 2004, we didn't have cell phones like that. I think I had a flip phone or one of those little phones. I think who had those Motorola's? Oh my God, right? Back in the day. And then you had to pull up the antenna. Not quite Gordon Gekko with the big brick phone, but still. I would check Yahoo. I would log into my Yahoo account in the hotel. Like if I went to a hotel, I would sit in the business office and log into Yahoo and check that way. But now basically, if you can get free Wi-Fi, you have a computer in your hand. It's amazing. We don't have to worry so much about missing notifications. I used to have someone check the mail to let us know, send me a message if I won something and I had to fill out paperwork and get it back. Any package that arrived unannounced, I used to have somebody put them in the house. All these things that we used to do that we almost don't have to do anymore. So don't just, if Instagram's your focus, then I would get a good circle of friends, maybe even a larger circle of friends, up to 25 to enter giveaways. I wouldn't spend too much time on each one because, some of them have crazy high numbers. Like I've seen some that have like 20, 30, 40,000 comments, and I'm thinking, holy cow. And then other ones have like 300, 800, 1,200. Those are the ones you want to be entering. And oh my God, this is my number one tip for doing Instagram. This is going to be a huge feature in my next book. Oh, great. I'm using one. I have no phone to show you. Oh, and I don't have my tablet in here. I bought a new iPad because my other one was getting bricked up. Okay. So you're going to just have to listen to me as I describe this. So if you're scrolling Instagram and you see a giveaway and it says, like this post, comment, why you want to win and tag your friend, look up in the left corner beside the little circle with their image. And if you see the word sponsored, do not enter there. Click on this company name, go to their main Instagram page, find the contest on their feed and enter there. You will notice that there's a difference between the number of people entering on the sponsored post and the number of people entering on the original page. The reason this is important, and I only figured it out because I am a marketer, is the last Doritos contest we ran, I think it was in January. I think it was around the time I went on vacation. And the sponsor was very happy. There was 9,000 comments. And when I went to WooBox to pull in the comments, so it was before the end of the draw. So I wanted to make sure WooBox is working. I go into WooBox, I pull in all the entries to check it, to make sure it's working properly. There's only 7,000. I'm messaging WooBox. I'm like, where's the other 2,000 entries? Like, I go to Instagram, it says 9,000. I go here, it says 7,000. Why is there a discrepancy? WooBox came back to me and said, did you boost the post? We said, yeah, of course we did. They said, Meta will not give us any entries on boosted items. They're not included in the final draw. There's nothing the sponsor can do about it. Meta won't give the data. Then I was on my personal Instagram account entering my own giveaways, and I saw the boosted post, and sure enough, guess how many comments there were? So you do not enter on sponsored posts. Also, have a public account, because if it's private, we won't give it away. I made the mistake once of not stating that all accounts had to be public in the Instagram rules. It was my fault. So we accepted any private accounts, but it took me days to reach these people. Such a pain in the neck. I thought, okay, we always have to make sure the rules say public accounts, because the rigmarole you have to go through on Instagram to try and reach somebody to notify them that they're a potential winner is crazy. And the woman said to me, I never win Instagram giveaways. I said, oh, I can tell you why. Your account's private. This was a rigmarole, but it was my fault. So we're allowing it. But it took me 3 days to get a hold of her. And when you're trying to notify these people and get these prizes out, chasing people no marketer has time for this. So have a good circle of friends you can tag. Make sure that you are not entering on sponsored posts. And I had a third one. What was it? It just popped out of my head. Oh, that's so funny. Let me try that again. Make sure you're not entering on sponsored posts. You have a good circle of friends. And anyway, I think that's a good start for Instagram. It'll come to me later when, probably after I stop this live, I'll remember. How do you update your version of Instagram? You should just be able to go into the, okay, maybe not. So here's the problem I was having, the reason I bought an iPad. I had an iPad 2, and the iOS will only update to 12.9. And I think they're on iOS 15. So what was happening was, for example, I was using Crowdcast for a client, and then I needed to update Crowdcast, and then Crowdcast said to me, oh no, this version of Crowdcast needs iOS 13 and up, and it stopped working on my iPad, so I had to delete it. And then the same thing happened with Facebook. And then the same thing happened. So it was basically slowly bricking itself. So as the apps were requiring a higher and higher version of iOS, my iPad was becoming useless. So if you have a very old iPad or iPhone that won't update the iOS past a certain point, the apps won't. So if you have an old iOS, you may not be able to update Instagram to the latest version. You may even have to take it off your device. Otherwise, it should auto update as part of your thing. I have auto updates set for all my applications, not just Instagram. Okay. Yeah, Mary Ellen, I'll share that podcast as part of a tweet or a post on Instagram or something. I'll share it. It's on. I listen to it on Spotify. We have a subscription to Spotify, but I think they're everywhere. Like probably Apple Podcasts. I think Amazon has podcasts on their on music platform. I think YouTube like everybody seems to be doing it now. So um, Raul says, what's a very good impact of Helene Hatzel's teaching on you? Well, reminding me that I need to focus on the end result. I don't know if you heard my story about winning the trip, but it's good to focus on the end result. Oh no, Darlene, we are going to send you good juju for November because she didn't win anything in October. So I'm going to send you good juju. Oh, what's my daily routine? How do you spend your day? It's always chaotic and it's always different. So for example, today I had the intention of waking up at 6 a.m. and I could not get out of bed. So finally at 6:45, I got out of bed. And my intention, I enrolled myself I invested in myself into the Pat Mahan's. He owns Like Attracts Life, Like Evolution website and the podcast. And he's on TikTok and Instagram. And I found him on TikTok. He's very good. I even had him as a guest on my show. So I joined his 21-day transformational and manifestation challenge because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes it's good to have a coach to help you get over the next hurdles. But it took me, I didn't realize how many steps in the first day I had because I did all the bonus material. And so all throughout the day, I was doing the bonus material. I never got to my Instagram course. I never got to my TikTok course. I work for Robert Ohado. I did in between all that. If I see a giveaway or something, I'll enter a few giveaways here and there. This morning, and as the day went on, I listened to all the radio giveaways. I have, I think, 10 alarms on my phone. On Tuesdays, one radio station gives away money every hour. So I'm listening to those. And then there's all this periodic ones. So every like hour, I stop what I'm doing and I listen to the radio and I try to win. And then I go back to doing my work. And somewhere in there, after my Toastmaster meeting at noon, I made juice. Like this is my day. I never made it to the gym. Thankfully, I do a lot of batch cooking and I had chili in the freezer and I pulled that out for dinner. And we had, I heated up some tortilla chips with melted cheese and we had chili and the last of the tomatoes from the garden. Like, this is my life. It's a little, then I'm like, oh my gosh, I better go set up. I rearrange my office and get it set up for the live stream. And then I come here and after this, I've got to do some videos. Oh yeah, I had to edit some videos and do some videos, and then I had to share, and I made sure my newsletter went out, and then I had to upload some posts. Like, I am so all over the place. I miss the days where I would sit solid 1 to 2 hours in contest every day. And I have a dream to get back to that, but I have no idea when that'll be. I get the occasional day here and there to do that, but it's far and few between now. Tom Cavalli does get to sit down because he's running his business completely different than mine, because I'm running two businesses. I teach people how to win giveaways and I run giveaways. By the way, oh, and I forgot to bring it in. The Doritos contest ends tomorrow. So if you're Canadian, you've been entered, you can win a trip to Mexico. You have one chance on their website and one chance on Instagram. And I'm conducting the draw. Today's the 1st. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the last day to enter. So the draw will be on the 3rd. And I'm doing all my reporting. That's what I'll be spending all day. Today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, that's all day. Thursday is doing all the final reporting, getting the potential winners. And so this is how you do it. As a marketer, I don't just pick one person. I pick a potential winner and 3 backups, because sometimes stuff happens. Like one time I had to give away an iPad and it took me 3 tries. I'm like, how is this happening? So the first person I messaged I said, okay, the usual, so many hours to get back, blah, blah, blah. They messaged back, did I get back in time? I said, yes, you did. Here's what I need from you, like your contact info, blah, blah, blah. Then I never heard back from them for like days. And I messaged them back. I said, look, you've got 24 hours to get back to me or I draw another name. Never heard back from them. I'm like, you just want to, you would potentially want an iPad, but clearly they didn't want an iPad. So I drew another name. That person turned out to be not in Canada. They were ineligible to win. I said, I'm sorry, you've been disqualified. You didn't follow the rules. So I drew a 3rd name. It took me 10 days to give away an iPad. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And the sponsor's waiting because they need to ship all the prizes out, because they usually do it all in one go. So we have all the other winners and we're waiting on one. It's not good. So yeah, that's what my day's like. So I'll be spending all day making. On Thursday is going to be day up again, because Pat says a 21-day transformation challenge. So I got to do that. I'll get to the gym. I've got to sit down and do reporting all day, because then I work for Robert Ohado. So I answer all his tickets. I'll be checking on all his social groups because I manage all his Facebook groups. I'm just like Energizer Bunny. That's what I used to be called. Okay, so Esther asks, are people getting their tags going to notifications? Yes and no. It's weird. Instagram mostly gets a lot of the tags going to messages. They changed it and people are very upset. So now you have to check everywhere. Notifications and messages for tags. Yeah, Darlene says there's people who win all the time and they tag like 50 people. Now, if they were given away, like a front load washer dryer or a trip, which I have seen on Instagram, yeah, I would tag 50 people if I knew 50 people. If they're giving away, like a little basket with some soap and shampoo, a beauty brand, right? Nothing against beauty brands. I'd probably enter 5 people myself. But I wouldn't put the energy into a $25 prize. I wouldn't put that much energy into a $25 prize versus, a prize is worth thousands. You have to, figure it out. Oh, Ken said he had none in September or October. Yeah, he'll win big in November. Okay, lots of good juju to Ken. Let's see. Thank you, EK. I'm behind on the messages. She says on Discord it's called a channel and it's private. Only iWin members are in the channel. Yes, I should have mentioned that. You do have to be a member of iWin to be in that Discord group. But again, I think he's only $55 for the whole year. And really 1 win and you've paid for that. Or if it's 2 tiny wins, like you'll pay for it in no time. I don't think there's anybody that complains about being a subscriber on Tom's website. So inside the group is radio channels for each type and brand. People work on posting the keywords. Tom has had many, many iWin winners from the radio, including iHeart. Thank you, EK, for clearing that up and reminding me to tell people that it is just for the subscribers. I had that in my head, but sometimes I forget that not everybody understands what I understand. That was actually a huge problem that I had with the very first book I wrote. And I think other people might find this, because some of the knowledge you have is so inherent to you. When you're trying to explain something to somebody, you forget that they don't know what you know, if that makes any sense at all. And so when I wrote the main how to win on online chapter, and I was taking people step by step on how to win, there was so many pieces that I had left out, and the editor just ripped it to shreds, and I cried. And it took me so long to rewrite it, but I had to pretend that I knew nothing, and I wrote it as if somebody knew nothing, because that's who the audience is. And again, it's hard, some stuff is so inherent that you forget that other people don't understand it. Bonnie says, do you think there's a problem with having Instagrams? I didn't plan it, but all of a sudden last night it seemed to when entering the market basket sweepstakes, another Instagram opened up. Yeah, I don't know. I've noticed actually myself on my computer that I was having a lot of trouble with Facebook and Instagram today. A lot. And I've heard that they've been having, oh yeah, CEK says, yeah, IG's a mess after all their improvements. Here's the problem. Instagram was designed to be a photographic platform. And then Meta bought it and changed it a bit. And I thought it was pretty good. And then the problem became when Meta started losing footing to TikTok. They were actually started with Snapchat. That's why they came up with stories. And then so every other platform that seemed to be taking an inch from Facebook or Instagram, they started changing their platforms to match that. Facebook at one time refused to have video, and then YouTube took over. And then they're like, oh my God, we better have video. And then they started going live. I remember when they started going and having lives. It was crazy. And then vertical video started to become a thing. TikTok took over that. Well, then Instagram started doing reels, and now they're trying to make reels just like TikToks, but it's not the same. And then every time, so the problem is you had a platform that was already designed. It's kind of like having a house built, a custom house, and it's beautiful and it's tiny and it's comfortable and it's cozy. And then a developer buys it and wants to make it into a mansion. So they just start adding rooms onto it. But then it becomes weird, because then you have to have a staircase through the kitchen because there's no other place to put it. And then it's becoming bizarre. And then stuff isn't working because they're trying to add on to something that wasn't designed to have like 6 stories to it. TikTok was designed as a vertical video platform, and it's stuck that way, and it's made improvements on it, but the basic structure was there for what it is, and Instagram wasn't. So when they're trying to improve it and add on to it, a lot of times something else breaks. A window on the first floor might snap in two because it doesn't like the weight that's on it from above. And now they're scrambling to fix that code. I just can't imagine being a programmer there. Oh, Claudia said, I just got a message. I won $100 in gas. Woohoo! Claudia's full of gas. Oh my gosh, with the price of gas, it might be a tank. But still, a tank's a tank. Oh, Darlene won too. Oh, congratulations. She won 2 stock pots, one for her and one for her dad. Yeah, my dad loved it. I messaged him. I'm like, did you need a stock pot? He's like, yeah, because otherwise I would have given it to like my sister or something. Let's see. Yes, the sponsored, remember that on Instagram, the sponsored post is not the real post. Uh-oh, I seem to have frozen. Oh dear. I thought this problem was going to stop once I improve how long have I been stuck? Okay, the timer is still going, but my video is frozen on YouTube. So I think, you know what, it's 9:05. I think it's time to just end the broadcast. And now I definitely need that vlogging camera because I can't have this happening again. And oh well, I'll answer all the other questions. I'll go and put some questions. I'll answer them physically in the comments. I'm sorry I'm frozen. Yeah, all the more reason to get that vlogging camera. So anyway, until next month, I'll see you then. Bye.